Alright guys, so I just wanted to run a little trick by you guys. Um, Kinda if you are scared to do a job and you got a quote from, said shop or dealership and it was over $1,000 for a heater core replacement. I just want to bring it to your guys' attention that if you own a 2001 to I believe 2005 or even more Ford Taurus, then there's a couple tricks and things that you can do to get this job done very quickly and easily. With that being said, guys, there's a bunch of videos online that says you can cut the dash, cut brackets, pull the dash back, get the heater core done, and that may be a thing and it may be true, but when you're doing it for a customer and it's not your current vehicle, you have to do it the right way. The brackets are there, the metal's there for a reason, even if it was just used for a robotic arm to place the dash in the vehicle previously before it was being made. It goes or it stays the way that we do repairs. Now, everybody says that the hardest job on this heater core job for a Ford Taurus is getting the heater core hoses off of the back of the firewall, which, I mean, it's not the world's easiest thing in the world, but it is not a challenge. Now, I know it's a little bit more in tune and more work to do, but if you're already doing an intake manifold replacement, because these Ford Tauruses in the model years are known to melt your breather on the top of your intake manifold. So we got the new one up there and we just got done transferring all of our stuff over. But on the old one here, it melted the complete inside of the old intake manifold, which was causing a vacuum leak, surging and idle, and so on. So we're gonna have to replace this part, the new ring, to install it into our new intake manifold there. Now, doing this job of doing the heater core and the intake manifold for our customer today made this heater core job even easier, because we removed the intake manifold. Now it gives you boatloads of room to the back of the firewall. You can easily get both heater core hoses off of the firewall with the intake manifold off. Now just be careful, you don't drop anything in there, because you will turn this job into a whole engine rebuild pretty much, and a head gasket. Unless you're lucky and you get it to where that port is closed and you can just magnet the bolt or whatever it is you dropped out. Now, back to the heater core job. Once you get those hoses disconnected, it is completely up to you if you want to put your intake manifold back on and reassemble the engine bay, because you're not technically doing anything else in the engine bay there, but you're going to be doing the rest of the heater core hoses, so it's going to be a challenge once you put that manifold back on. Trick of the trade here, guys, to do this job the best way: grab yourself some zip ties and zip tie and lock the steering wheel around the headlight switch and turn signal switch, and zip tie it so you know it can't go slack. With bungee cords, it'll have a chance of moving. Same thing on this side, guys. Zip tie it, lock it down, and zip tie it to the top of the gear shifter. Now the steering wheel cannot turn at all, okay? Then you'll come underneath here. This is not a step that you have to do, but it is just something. Hang on, stand by. Apologize about that, guys. I had to make sure that I had the car pulled up far enough for one of my customers to get out. Now, this next part here is not recommended, but I just do it for extra security measures to know that my steering wheel did not move whatsoever when we remove this bolt. Now, if you look down in here, guys, you'll see that I marked 2 arrows from the bottom of the shaft to the rack, from the rack and pinion to where it meets the coupler on the back of the steering wheel shaft. And I marked those 2 red arrows there to just inform me that I know nothing has moved or has done anything that wasn't supposed to be done. Now, once you mark those guys, or not, completely at your discretion, you'll remove that 1 bolt right there, which is your lock bolt, or you can call it a pinch bolt, whatever you want to call it. You remove that, and then this bottom shaft from the rack and pinion will just drop down about 3 to 4 inches, enough to get that coupler out of the bottom, or excuse me, out of the steering wheel. Once that's done, you can move to the next step, and don't worry, you're pretty much already, I'd say 65% done with this heater core job. Next thing you guys will do is remove this cover here, remove your seal, and remove your A-pillar trim pieces on both sides. Once you do that, what I mean, seal, trim pill, and side of the dash on both sides of the vehicle. Once you do that, we'll go to the next step and show you. I'm gonna grab my tool here. We'll just kind of get this in here. I might have to grab my other one, but this one should do. And you just pop that over like that, guys. That exposes those 2 bolts, okay? Once you get your seal out, you're going to remove this bottom bolt completely. You're going to remove this bolt, I'd say about 1/4 of an inch or more, but leave it in there threaded. That's going to be our angle point. We'll go to the next side. Give me a second, guys. I gotta go back and get my screwdriver. Now, same thing on this side, guys. You'll come over, put your screwdriver in, or your little pry tool that you're using, and just pop that clip out. Same thing on this side. Trim piece remove, door seal, and then you're going to remove the bottom bolt first, all the way. And then be ready for this bolt here, because once you do all the other steps, once you remove this bolt with all the other sides of the bolts out, this dash will be ready to come out. Next thing I recommend is pushing this seat all the way back. Because the next thing you're going to need to do is take your little clips here, those little black clips,